Hey scrappers, if you're looking to figure out what materials you should sell this week or hold this week, now is the time to do it. Our weekly report is going to give you that information, up-to-date market news, pricing. Let's get right into it and we'll talk about it inside. Tom from iScrap. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, and boy, it is a scorcher out there. Hopefully you guys are drinking plenty of water. It's not time for those cervezas until way after 7 o'clock at night because it's just too hot out there. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water this week. What have we seen in the markets? Well, we're not underwater in the markets. We've seen a little bit of a recovery the last few days. We've seen copper prices jumping up. I mean, it's been a little sporadic. Last week we saw prices down 8 cents and they finished up 3 cents. But overall, we've seen a nice recovery. Yeah, we're still down 30% from where we are. So, everyone that wants to be the naysayer and say, oh, I'm going to hold my copper until it hits $4 again, enjoy yourself. I think that we're going to be in a correctionary period where the US dollar is strengthening. What does that mean? Well, the Federal Reserve, I keep talking about interest rates. When they tick the interest rates up, that takes more US dollars out of circulation, increases the value of the US dollar. And because commodities across the world are based on the US dollar, that's one of the reasons that you've seen certain commodities like copper and aluminum decreasing. In addition to that, things like nickel have also gone down. And one of the reasons that they haven't increased is because it's the middle of the summer. And traditionally, we've always seen a pullback when it comes to July and August. But one positive thing that we've seen on the scrap side of things, we started to see the export market picking up. As we kind of headlined here, Turkey is starting to rebuy scrap for the first time in a little while. And with fuel prices ticking down for about 5 weeks in a row, that's going to help a lot of the the shipping costs, the fuel costs for the different trucks bringing things to ports. And that's one of the reasons that we have seen the steel prices having about a $25 per ton uptick, which is really a strong sign considering we saw the last 2 months really having the market erode, kind of flooring itself out the month of June. And here we are going into July, starting to have a little bit of an uptick, but I don't expect to see much more of a $10 to $20 change until the middle of September going into October. That's generally the pattern, and that's what we expect to see right now. But the copper prices have slightly recovered. I still implore you to sell what you have. I think the markets are still there, but if you don't need the money, by all means, save it and wait. You might be in a little bit of a longer waiting period than normal because there still is a lot of stuff going on. And what we're continuing to do is watch these energy prices. And of course, our economist, Mark, who is featured in many podcasts and has part of the report through him every week. And in the coming months, we're going to have more podcasts with him talking about how the energy prices are affecting the scrap and the overall metals market. But with steel prices starting to recover, with gas prices starting to dip down, there is a little bit of optimism. But before we just, kind of put our foot hard on the gas, I do still think that we're going to see a bit of a pullback. I think we're going to see September showing higher prices for fuel because we're just getting to a point where they pumped all these reserves in and asked people to pump more oil, but that's not going to ultimately cause the prices to decrease because we're seeing more and more consumer demand, whether it's flying, driving, heating, or cooling your homes. These are things that take energy, and we don't have enough renewable energy yet to really have an impact. But the scrap markets have been pretty good. Stainless steel, stainless steel's been completely bludgeoned, to just call it exactly the way it is. 2 months ago, we saw a 80 cent per pound average national price for 304 stainless. And today it's in like the 30 to 35 cent range. So do not be surprised when you see stainless steel prices being dramatically down. The nickel prices have gotten hammered. And until we see more of a pullback out of manufacturers where they need more of the material, we're really kind of in a tough place. And it's funny because if you look back a few months, people were talking about, oh my gosh, how is the nickel market coming out of Russia going to affect things? That was one of the reasons we saw a little bit of a push up in March and April. And then when we saw that the nickel that comes out of Russia isn't going to completely deplete the world economy, then we started to see these prices decrease. So I think that they are going to have a nice uptick come the fourth quarter of this year, that October, November, December. But right now, if you want to hold something else, clean stainless steel wouldn't be a bad item to hold, because it could be an item that you end up doubling up on if you can hold off for a few months. Other than that, aluminum markets also, they're down. Everything is down. And this is kind of why we say week after week that holding material is more of a gamble than it is a business. So when you're holding, trying to hit the peak of the market, many people saw the peak of the market, got greedy because they thought it was going to accelerate past that. When we saw a huge pullback in the market, these are the things that start to happen, and you're kind of caught with your pants around your ankles. You don't know what to do with your material. Should you sell now before it goes down more? Should you hold on until it goes up? I remember when copper hit that magical $3 number over a decade ago, and everyone was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And a few short months later, we saw it decrease. We saw it go back to $2, and it took a long time for it to restabilize and have that a growth. And right now, I just don't see that growth. People continue to talk about recessionary pressures, gas, yada, yada, yada. You have a new election coming for the midterms in November. There's a lot of things that are going to affect the metal prices. So we're going to continue to watch for you for the overall scrap industry. But the app is up and running. We would love you to be able to download it. Don't forget, it is free for all Android and iPhone users, free to use, free to download. Post prices, check prices, learn about materials, get quotes on catalytic converters. Speaking of which, the catalytic converter market is one of the positive signs over the last couple of weeks. Platinum up to $850 an ounce. It was briefly below $800. Rhodium went back over $14,000 an ounce. Palladium stayed relatively calm, but we have seen the national average creeping back towards $150 per cat. And the guys over at rrcats.com continue to hold prices for 10 business days. Free shipping for all OEM cats. So contact rrcats.com for a quote on your catalytic converter today. Looking for any more information on scrap? You know where we are, iScrapApp.com. Hundreds of articles and videos on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do. This way you get notifications when our videos are coming out, and our notifications going out there through the app as well. Scrappers is Tom. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Until next week, I'll scrap you later.
Thanks for watching this video. If you want to and you haven't already, please subscribe below for more videos or become a Patreon supporter to get more information on scrap today.